Edomites, Esau, which are Edomites, white people in the other nations, right? If my kingdom of this world, then my servants fight. But when the time comes, when Yahweh's kingdom is to come of this world, to be built up, that's the period of time when Yahweh's servants are going to fight, because he's going to raise us up. And he raises us up, he's going to take down you nations. That I should not be delivered to the Jews, but now my kingdom not from them. But now the Lord's kingdom is not from them, it's not now. It's going to happen in the future, all right?
That's showing you the true characteristic of who you really call Jesus Christ, man. He's not no fucking fairy, all right? See, that's why it tells you in Revelation 11 and 8, you damn crackers crucified the true characteristics of the Lord, man. All right, you butchered the real characteristics of the Lord. First of all, the scriptures speak about the Lord being an austere man. Okay, the scriptures speak about the Lord being a man of austerity, man. All right, a man of matter of fact, it tells you that the Lord is the Lord of hosts, man, the Lord of armies, man. Okay, so for the simple fact that you pacified and what's the word? You pussified the Lord, man. You Edomites are really gonna pay for that, because no other nation ever even remotely tried to do that, man. They never had the balls to do that. Depict the Lord as a nation of their own, man. Only Esau did that, man. That's why you gonna pay big time for that.
That devils try to pussify the scriptures, man. You know, they're trying to pacify. The better word to use is to pacify the Lord. Because, you know, pacify, not pussify, pacify means like to not want violence. You know? A person that's a pacifist. Well, guess what? The Lord isn't a pacifist. Now, a pacifist is a person that wants peace. But that, because like the word Pacific, I mean it's peace. The Pacific Ocean. A pacifist is one that wants peace. Peace is going to come on earth, but before peace comes, it's going to be violence first. You know? That's what I wanted to say.
You mentioned earlier how how Shah kingdoms is gonna get built up by the other nations. But right now, the way the kingdom is being built up is by the Lord's elect, His chosen men, and the nations, they're gonna physically build it up, but we're building it up spiritually, because we have the kingdom here right now. We have the spiritual power, and the way we have the spiritual power is by breaking down these scriptures. That right there is spiritual power. That's the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua working with us for this, because this is a miracle.
Yeah.
Because you got top scholars, well-studied men, they can't break the scriptures down, and men that's not studied is able to have the ability through the spirit of Yahweh Hashem Yahushua to break it down. So that right there is spiritual power. So why?
Right.
Yeah. Everybody go?
This is 1 Peter, because we building it up.
Yeah.
1 Peter 2 and 5. 1 Peter 2 and 4. To whom coming as unto a lovely stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High and precious.
Read that again, bro.
Okay. I'll start with 2 verse 1. 1 Peter 2 and 1. Wherefore, laying aside all malice and all guile and hypocrisies and envies and all evil speaking.
That's being a nigga. You know the definition of a nigga? A black devil.
Yeah.
So the Lord didn't call us into this faith to act like black devils, being a nigga. The Lord called us into this faith to be righteous, to have a fresh start through Yahweh Shah, so we can receive mercy from the Lord.
Right.
Yeah.
As newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word.
As newborn babies. And how do you become a newborn baby? You gotta be reborn. And the way you're reborn through the womb of the scriptures. Because the scriptures reference this Bible as also being your mother. And also being your sister, a kinswoman. Yep. So the way we born again is through the womb of the scriptures, our mother.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right. It says, as newborn babes desire the sincere milk of the word, that you may grow thereby.
Go ahead.
See?
Yeah.
Like I heard what you said. the womb to the scriptures, and you look at the word, you go thereby, you get these are the breasts, right?
That's right.
Yeah, 'cause what does a woman do? A woman is supposed to nurture their children, man.
Yeah. Right, brother?
And our mother is the Bible.
Yeah.
That's how we're being born again. We're coming out the script, the matrix of the scriptures.
Yeah. Might even make that a show.
Yeah.
It says, if so, we have tasted that the Lord is gracious, to whom coming as unto a lively stone.
Right. So now scripture speaking about lively stones, because Yahushua he's the main lively stone. He's the cornerstone. You know what's the cornerstone? The first cornerstone is the first stone that's laid down as the foundation, and it is oftentimes used as a landmark. But Yahushua, he's that cornerstone.
Right. It says to whom coming as unto a lively stone, disallowed indeed of men, but chosen of the Most High.
Disallowed indeed of men. Meaning, when Yahushua walked the earth, Yahushua, well, he was rejected, you know,
Right.
by the ones that was not of the elect, that was not of the chosen. So he was disallowed of men, but chosen of the Most High.
That's right, like us.
Like the men you see speaking, the men in different states speaking.
Yep.
Go ahead.
And precious. Ye also.
Right, he wasn't just a stone; he was a precious stone, because a lot of landmarks it be concrete. But it said Yahushua, he wasn't no ordinary stone; he was a precious stone, and precious, chosen of the Most High.
Yeah. And that word precious is something that's high in quality but low in quantity. You know? It says,
That's right.
ye also as lively stones are built up.
So Yahushua, he's a lively stone, but it said we also as lively stones. So we're like colorful stones that's precious. And each brother that come in, he's a stone being built upon the foundation of Yahushua and building up a building. Go ahead.
It says, ye also as lively stones are built up a spiritual house.
Like, see? Built up a spiritual house. So when a brother just come in, he joined the camp or whatever, a brother is of the elect, when he began to believe, he become a spiritual stone. And he become part of that building that's going up. There's a high riser, a spiritual high riser.
Yeah, that's right. Spiritual skyscraper.
The skyscraper, yeah. Of 144,000.
144,000 floors.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey, let me get this real quick. Yeah, real quick. This is Revelation 11, verse 1. It says, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, rise and measure the temple of the Most High. And
Now, see, it said measure the temple. Because in ancient time, we had moments where we actually built back up the temple physically. And you had the other nations, they were trying to tiptoe their way inside that, being part of that building. But in this time, we building up a spiritual temple. And that spiritual temple is the elect. Go ahead.
it says,
I think one thing real quick. This is saying like a reed like unto a rod. So compare the reed to a rod. When you go to Psalms 23rd chapter, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. What comfort are the scriptures? So a rod is the scriptures. That's what comforts you. That reed or that rod that measures is the scriptures. That's used to measure. That's what it's talking about.
That's right.
right. It says, rise and measure the temple of the Most High.
Wait, rise and measure the temple of the Most High. Now, what's the temple? Like we just said, the temple is the elect, the brothers coming into the faith. And what's the reed? And what are we using to measure? It's the scriptures. How are we measuring? We're measuring through the prophecies. So through the prophecies, we know that, like, the Most High, he's getting ready to do it, make a move. Go ahead.
It says, rise and measure the temple of the Most High and the altar and them that worship therein. But the court,
Because when you building up, you gotta know dimensions. You know, you just not building for the stone and stones. You gotta make sure everything's level. You gotta make sure they have the right dimensions. You gotta make sure it's everything's according to blueprint. So with measurement, you're doing a spiritual measurement. Because when brothers just come in, you know, you just don't come straight into the camp. You know, you gotta get built up first. And they need right spiritual it's a tongue twister. Geometry. You know, everything works according to, you know, time. Go ahead.
yeah, because you got to get the correct stone. Oh, this stone, no, this is no good. Oh,
Yeah.
this is the good. This is a good stone to build upon. Or one of the good stones. I'm gonna put it here, you know.
Yeah, like if you laying brick or you laying block, you just not just laying block. You got certain brick or block you got to cut. You know, you got certain headers which that be on the corners. You got certain let's say you make a certain design of around the window. You got to cut certain brick or block so it could fit in a certain way. But you got to measure it first. You just can't just break it. Everything has to meet a certain measurement, and that measurement we use in these scriptures. Go ahead.
One more verse. It says, "But the court that is without, but the court which is without the temple leave out and measure it not. For it is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months." So the first verse is pretty much the point I wanted. But it says, "But the court which is without the temple leave out." And what is without the temple? You other nations, man.